Hello and welcome to the Yankees on Deck podcast. I'm your host, Matt Cunningham. What a series win for the New York Yankees. Jazz Chisholm Jr. makes his Yankees debut, and it went pretty well, I gotta say. I mean, he's winning people over after just one game between what he did on the field. He had his first hit, base hit, little infield hit up the middle in the top of the ninth. And then he got the second, and then he was able to steal third because the Red Sox were sleeping. The defense was sleeping. Nobody was covering third. He steals third. And I mean, how can you not love this guy already? I mean, he's chatting it up in the dugout with Aaron Judge. He's smiling, laughing in the outfield. Threw a ball to a fan that caught it. He was, I was at a sports bar watching the game, and just the energy he's bringing, the vibes. I mean, how could you not love this guy already? And look, yes, I know it's one game, but this is kind of new life, new energy that this team desperately needs. And especially to a guy that can hit in the heart of the order, that can run. But before we talk about Jazz, just recap: Yankees win this one, solid game, 8-2, and I mean, really nothing too much to complain about. I mean, it was a little bit nerve wracking. Uh, when Carlos Rodon gave up a couple of those solo shots to Rob Refsnyder and Connor Wong, back to back solo shots in the bottom of the fourth. And look, the first three innings for Carlos, he was cruising. He was doing great. I was watching the game, glued to the TV, and he was doing great. And then I go on my Yankees on Deck Instagram, and I kind of give him a little shout out, and I make a post about it. And as soon as I do, then he gives up a home run, and then he gives up another home run. Like, oh man. And I was kind of probably like a lot of Yankee fans saying like, shit, man. I was biting my teeth a little. I was biting my fingernails a little bit. People do that when you're stressed out, and I was nervous. Because Rodon has had his hiccups this year. His ERA, I believe now is 4.3. It's 4.34, and his final line: 6 and a third innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. Look, Carlos, his changeup was absolutely nasty tonight. He got several guys swinging at his changeup for strikeouts. He made Devers look silly on a slider away. Devers like half whiffed at it, like he whiffed at it and like just flung the bat out there. I've never seen Rafael Devers take a swing like that. And that's a guy that has owned us in recent games and in the past several years. And he carved him up. And yes, Devers did get him back a little bit. He got a triple, but Carlos had his changeup, his slider, just made a couple of dumb pitches, to Refsnyder and Wong. But there was nobody on, thankfully, so it was really limited damage. And then, he was scuffling that inning. Then after that, after the 2 home runs back to back, Devers then hit an RBI triple off the monster. Jazz Chisholm, he didn't really know how to play it, and it kind of got by him, which is fine. I mean, that's tough for any outfielder, doing with the monster and having to do that. And then the Red Sox were able to get first and third, and Rodon then bared down, though. He struck out Rafaela, the young Red Sox rookie, and then he was able to get Dominic Smith on called strikes as well. And so, those were huge outs right there. And then he struck out Durant. Like, I mean, he bared the fuck down. Like, he really, like, he locked in. He's like, all right, 2 runs, Sawyer again from me. Like, I'm going to lock in. I'm going to get this and getting those next 3 batters. And he was incredible, man. He really, and I was kind of like, oh man, first and third, like, oh, I was in my chair and I was just like kind of turning away. Like, oh, I couldn't watch. Like, yeah, you know how you get when you get that nervous feeling where it's just like, oh, I can't watch, can't look. That was me in that middle half of the game. Because I was just worried that it would all unravel for him. The Yankees had a 4-0 lead. Thanks to a lot of good hitting, timely hitting. Yankees were able to get up 3-0 in the top of the first. Gleyber Torres had a 2-run base hit. Aaron Judge had an RBI hit, and they were able to get this early lead, and then they were able to get up 4-0 thanks to Ben Rice. He hit a sac fly, and Yankees get this nice 4-0 lead, right? And you know then you're like, all right, we got this. Like, we're okay. Like, yeah, sure, there's still a lot of game left, stop at the fourth at that point, but still some game left. And then, Rodon has a couple, you know, bad pitches to two hitters. And then the Red Sox were right back in the game, only down 2 runs. So we're like, oh, shit, you know. But at the end of the day, he bared down, thankfully. And Yankees are able to win this one 8-2. Now, let's talk about Jazz Chisholm. So, if you listen to Yankees on Deck, these podcasts, please, if you can, follow my social media at Yankees on Deck on Instagram. I'm currently on there, still growing. And I appreciate all you that either listen to this podcast or follow me on Instagram. Thank you so much. You guys, this is impossible without, you, the listeners, your support. Thank you. And I want to talk about Jazz Chisholm, though, Jr., the trade. People have been asking me, oh, what do you think of the guy? What do you think of the guy? I love the move. I love it. And especially, don't call me saying I'm getting carried away. I love this guy already after one game because just the energy we saw tonight. It felt a little different. Hopefully that momentum can carry over. Baseball is all about momentum. Okay. Like I've been saying, all it takes is one game to turn the script and a team can get incredibly hot and have a real nice stretch of wins and what people call a winning streak. I mean, the Mets did it, and any team can do it. It takes one game. And the thing with Jazz that he brings to this team that this team desperately needs is aside from, power, because Yankees historically might go down as them having the worst team ever in terms of OPS in the cleanup spot. So that is something that, I saw that stat on ESPN and it's well established. So yeah, obviously the Yankees need a power bat in the heart of their order to protect Judge and Soto. Yes, we all understand that. And they're still chasing that. Okay. They are still looking at guys. Yes, they did lose out on Isaac Paredes on the Rays, but there's still Yandy Diaz, and there's other hitters out there, Rengifo, Brent Rooker of the A's. He's a big power bat. Jonathan India, the infielder for the Reds. So there's still other guys out there. But anyway, going back to Jazz, this guy, he can hit for pop and he can run. I mean, we saw it tonight, him flying on the bases. He stole third base when, nobody was looking and, none of the Red Sox gave a shit at that point. They were down, 5-6 runs. Like they're like, so they were down 5 runs actually at that point. It was 7-2, and then DJ drove him in with the sac fly. But anyway, it's heads up baseball awareness. You watch this guy play; he can run. He's got a bit of pop. Yeah, his first few at bats, he rolled over on some ground balls. Whatever. Okay, the guy just got here. All right, people were like on Twitter saying, "Oh, does Chisholm ever do anything other than hit ground balls?" Okay, yeah, like you can be the negative Nancy and look at the ground ball percentage and all that. Cut the guy a break. It's one effing game, okay? That's why it's part of the reason why Yankee fans kind of annoy me a little bit with that. I don't know if maybe that guy was being sarcastic, but I mean, if you're being dead serious, getting upset with a guy going 0-4 his first game, first 4 ABs not doing anything, like stop, okay? Just stop, please. But here I have some cool facts on Jazz Chisholm. So Jazz, his 162 game average currently, he has 27 home runs, 33 steals. That's his career averages through 162 full season. He ranks in the 74th percentile in barrel rate this year, and he's in the 87th percentile in sprint speed. And when you look at Yankee Stadium, the ballpark factors, if Trent Grisham was, a Yankee, the entire year this year, he would have 6 more home runs than what he currently has in 2024. And currently in 2024, Jazz Chisholm has 13 home runs. So you can do the math. And, you know, I mean, you look at all those factors, I mean, this guy can really help us. And, we don't just need a guy, honestly, that can hit for power. We also too need a guy that can run and steal some bases. Look, and folks, I've said this before too. The Yankees, one of their other bigger problems too, outside of zero production from a cleanup hitter and having protection behind Soto and Judge, so Soto and Judge actually get pitches to hit. It's been that we have no guys other than Anthony Volpe that can get on base and steal bases and wreak havoc and play small ball. That's why this team, it's literally with this team, they literally have to hit home runs. They have to hit the ball to the ballpark or hit the ball in the gap consecutively over and over and over again, or they won't score. They won't score because you have a lot of dead weight on this team, guys that can't run. I mean, Judge, sure, yeah, Judge has stolen his fair share of bases, but he's not known as a guy that steals bases. Anthony Volpe, he was the leadoff hitter for a while. He was the guy that could set the tone, get on base, steal bases. Other than him, though, can you name me a guy? I mean, Verdugo, sure, but this team doesn't have a lot of speed. It doesn't have a lot of sprint speed. Okay, you can name like one or two guys off the top of your head, maybe, and that's it. That's what I don't understand. So, and Trent Grisham, he's not playing every day. DJ's old. Gleyber Torres, just can't. He can't run. I mean, he can barely field. So, Yankees needed this. They needed a guy that could hit, but they needed a guy that could steal bases. Cause some trouble on the base paths. We've seen other teams do it to us, stealing on us like crazy. We need to do it to them. So I love this. I love this move. It's not the move. Okay, I've heard some Yankee fans say that, and they're right. It's not the move. They have to do more, obviously. All right, we need bullpen help. We need some pitching, but we also need another bat or two. I mean, because the offense has been that bad, and we got to address the holes, especially in the cleanup spot. Okay, I understand that, but this is a guy. I mean, Chisholm batted fifth tonight, playing center field. The Yankees said they're going to use him kind of a little bit versatility. I think he's going to play a little bit in center, but they do want him to play third base because Gleyber Torres, they want to keep it second. He's hitting. And I'm okay with that for now because look, Gleyber Torres is hitting. He's been on a hot tear. I mean, he had a great game today. So I'm okay. If Gleyber Torres was continuing to perform badly like he has for a lot of this year, then I say, okay, yeah, you got to switch it up. Put Chisholm at second base. Second base is Jazz Chisholm's primary position. So yeah, I'm not really thrilled that we're going to throw him at third base, Jazz Chisholm, but I mean, we need production somewhere, and DJ's not cutting it. I don't understand either. Why is this Waldo Cabrera not getting more playing time? This guy has been amazing recently. He was 1 for 4 today, had a huge 2-run double to pad in the Yankee lead, give him some breathing room. Why is this guy not playing more? This is what I don't understand. Okay, if you look, his last 7 games, he's hitting .308 with a homer, 5 RBIs. His last 15 games, he's hitting .351. 6 RBIs, 4 walks. What the frig are we doing? Why is this guy not playing more? Over a 400 on-base percentage, 459 slugging. What are we doing? Why is this guy not playing more? I don't understand it. Are we seriously at that point where we're still splitting time between him and DJ, getting reps at third base, and just, playing in general? Come on, man. I don't understand it. As Waldo, he was starting third baseman tonight, and LeMahieu was playing first. But what are we doing? I don't understand. But LeMahieu actually, no, sorry, Ben Rice was at first. I saw the LeMahieu got subbed in. Ben Rice was starting at first base. LeMahieu got subbed in late in the game. But why are we still starting DJ LeMahieu now? I mean, come on, you got to go with the hotter hand. This is what drives me batshit crazy, man. And Austin Wells too. He's been really hitting the ball lately. He was 2 for 4 today. Hit a ball down the line. He just looks great, man. He looks really, really good right now. His last 7 games hitting .440 batting average, .515 OBP, 720 slugging, with 2 home runs last 7 games. Last 15 games, he has 4 home runs, hitting 311 batting average. And over the last month, Wells has been hitting 290 with 6 bombs. I mean, that's solid production, people. This is a guy who got off to a very slow start and has struggled a bit this year, but also some bad luck factor into that. But this guy can hit. Okay, Austin Wells can hit. The defense is getting better. You also, too, watching him behind the plate tonight, he had a lot of good stops behind the plate on balls that you would think, would maybe get by him or really any catcher. Like, he had some really good stops tonight. If you're watching the game, some really good blocks. And I'm a huge fan of Austin Wells. Okay, and I always have been. I've talked highly about this guy even when he struggled. Looking at like barrel percentage and exit velocity, and because I watch the games, I watch, and this guy can hit. This guy hits the ball hard. Hits it hard consistently. He's a lefty. Obviously you gotta love that for obvious reasons, right? Being a lefty, in with that short porch, but he can hit, and he's a better hitter than Jose Trevino. Okay, even though Jose Trevino had much better numbers at one point, Austin Wells has always been the better hitter. He's got the tools, he's got the power. Jose Trevino don't really hit for much power. Play Austin Wells every day, and I know Trevino's out right now, but Austin Wells needs to be the starting catcher moving forward, without a doubt. And I love that they're actually giving him a chance to hit cleanup, because there's literally zero production we've gotten out of cleanup this year. And why not? The guy's hitting. The guy's having great at-bats. He's getting on base a lot. He's taking his walks. Let him hit behind Aaron Judge. Like, I'm cool with that until there's a better option you can find me. Until you maybe say you go out and trade for Brent Rooker or somebody, like, sure, I'm cool with it. Okay. Jazz Chisholm, he was, like I said, he was batting fifth. Gleyber Torres batted sixth, was 1 for 3. That huge 2-run single that the Yankees had, and to get to an early 3-0 lead in that first inning. Anthony Volpe was 1 for 5. And look, Cabrera was batting ninth too. Move this guy up in the order a little bit. Like, look, Cabrera's getting hot again. So that's the whole thing with baseball. Seriously, you have to play the hottest hitters. All right, if a guy is hitting, play him. You know what's going to stop him from doing that? Most likely, you know what's going to stop him from staying that hot, most likely, as quickly as possible? When you bench him. That's what happens. Baseball, it's a very rhythm type game. Like, you have to consistently be doing it, like playing, that's why what happens, they talked about in the playoffs, teams that, hold on, give me 1 second. Sorry about that. I had to shut my door. It got ajar. My door got ajar open. Anyway, but that's what happens with teams, right? Like we saw last year with the Orioles. They won the ALDS. Or no, not the ALDS. They won the AL East, and they got swept in the first round ALDS by the Rangers, a wild card team, because the Orioles had multiple days off, to wait for who they're going to play that advanced the wild card. It was the Rangers. The Rangers were coming in red hot, just winning, just sweeping the wild card. The Orioles had several days of rest. Which team do you think is going to play better? Like, come on, dude. It's simple logic. It's just simple logic. And, that's what I want to see with this team. Alex Verdugo was 2 for 5 today. He had a couple nice doubles in the gap. A beauty of one right into left center by the monster. I mean, he looked really good today. He looked really, really good. And let's look at him, too. He's a guy over the last week has also been heating up. These are the guys I've been saying, right? They need to heat up. If these guys are playing how we expect them, especially a guy like Verdugo with how he was playing in the beginning of the year, this is a good team, okay? Because these are key hitters that then you pair with Soto and Judge, and, then you have 4 or 5 good hitters in that lineup instead of 2, So, over his last 7 games, Verdugo, he's in 321, 2 RBIs, 2 walks, OBP at 355, slugging at 464. So he's starting to pick it up. And same thing you could say with Torres. I mean, Torres over the last like month, he's been picking it up. So moving forward for the trade deadline, Yankees obviously they need to go get another bat, and they need to also address the pitching. They've inquired about multiple relievers out there. One of them being Ray's bullpen arm Pete Fairbanks, who's like he's a decent arm. He's okay. Like he's nothing amazing, but he would help us. I mean he's nobody bad. He's like a 3 ERA guy, but what I think is honestly they need realistically 2 bullpen arms. Okay, and if you could go out and maybe get a back, I mean this is a lot honestly. What would be perfect would be like say we got 2 bullpen arms, a back end starting pitcher, and another bat. But like realistically, that's so many players, and we've already gotten Jazz. I don't think that's going to happen. So realistically, one of two things I would either want to happen where we get a bullpen arm and another bat, or we get uh you know a a starting pitcher and another bat. I don't know. I really don't know. But realistically, like this team does have a lot of holes, like we've been saying. So you have to like prioritize, like, all right, which is the most urgent? We could easily put up there that the offense is the most urgent just because of how bad this team has been, right? Offensively this year. And in terms of OPS and all that. So at the end of the day, I think you need to go out and get another bat and then find any way you can to also get some pitching, whether that's bullpen, starting pitching, right? Either of those two. Bullpen pitching obviously would be a lot easier because there's a lot more out there. There's a lot more options. Starting pitching, like other than Tarek Skubal, it's very thin, and Yankees aren't getting Tarek Skubal, okay, because Tigers would want the moon for that guy because he's great, and you know they should get a good return for him if they're going to end up trading him. So, yeah. And I'm trying to think about what else to talk about with this game. Oh, yeah. I want to talk more about Jazz because why not? It was his first game. So, Jazz, I want to pull up a quote. They interviewed Jazz after the game, of course. And he was quoted as saying via from the Yes Network, "Every kid dreams of being a Yankee. It's the most famous team in baseball that Derek Jeter played on. Everybody's favorite player. It was actually my first time being part of a crowd like that. It was only right to find a number I adored as a kid watching A-Rod." That's actually a quote, sorry, on Jazz on wearing number 13. So, but his actual quote after the game when he was interviewed, he was basically saying, I've always, grown up watching the Yankees. I've dreamed of being a Yankee. I mean, this guy, I mean, he's in shock, honestly. He's in shock because this is usually the guy, like like everybody growing up, like you see the Yankees on TV. Jazz, he grew up in the Bahamas, and he said like all the big teams, Yankees, Lakers, like, he said we would watch them, follow them. So to him, it's like, this is insane. Like, and like, think of like any of you, like if you're a Yankee fan or just a baseball fan in general, or just someone that watches sports, like think how crazy it would be to like put on the Yankee uniform, like all the history, all the tradition, and just, and I don't want people bringing up the crap of, oh, we haven't won a title in 15 years. Shut the heck up. It's the New York Yankees. Okay. There's a lot of history. There's a lot of tradition. There's a lot of pride. It means something to a lot of people to put on that uniform, and and you can tell that Jazz feels that way. And he literally, and this is the quote: "Every kid dreams of being a Yankee," says Jazz Chisholm Jr. This guy dreams of being a Yankee, and he is a Yankee, and we're glad to have him. We're glad to have him. We are glad to have him, and we hope he can be a huge spark for this team. And he looked like he was one tonight. It looked like he was a huge spark. He was having fun. And this is also a tweet that just came out. Gary Phillips, he said Jazz Chisholm Jr. on learning third base for the Yankees. So this is a tweet, saying how Jazz feels about playing third base. I mean, I went out there and played center field for the first time last year, and I felt like it was pretty difficult at first, but I just feel like I could go and play anywhere and help my team win. For me, it's just going somewhere. So he's being a team guy. That's what you want, and he's going to play wherever the Yankees need him the most. Love it. And this is cool. He said Brendan Cuddy. Sorry, I think I always pronounce his name wrong. Brendan Cuddy, Yankee writer, reporter, tweeted out 50 minutes ago. Jazz Chisholm said he got a text from the Prime Minister of the Bahamas after he was traded to the Yankees. That's so cool. If you're not aware, that's where Jazz is from. Jazz said everybody's been messaging me about playing for the Yankees. They want to come out and watch the games, come to New York. That's awesome. That's awesome. And, obviously he said too, last 24 hours for him have been hectic. A lot of people have been reaching out, and, good for him, man. Good for him. And he came all the way here, and where was he? He was flying out to, I'm trying to see, because the Marlins, he was on the Marlins, right? So we acquired him Saturday. Oh, okay, so he was coming from Milwaukee. Okay. But good for him. We're glad to have you, Jazz. Hopefully, and we'll see, I think he's a free agent too after 2025, because I remember seeing this, but I'm just double confirming. Oh, wait. He could become a free agent after the 2026 World Series. Wow, wait, so we have him for not only next year, but the year after? Whoa. Interesting. Cool. And he's 26 years old, guys, too. He's young. He's young, And to talk a little bit, too, about the three prospects we gave up, it was really nobody, honestly, too substantial, I don't think. I mean, look, you can't grade these things for a few years, of course, at least, because you don't know how the prospects are going to pan out. I mean, there's rankings and all that stuff. So all I can say is purely off like a ranking standpoint, it doesn't look like the Marlins really got too much for Jazz. But that could be totally wrong. Like, look, the rankings could be totally dead wrong, and some of these prospects could turn out to be really good freaking major leaguers. And 3-4 years from now, we could say, oh yeah, the Marlins won this trade. We just don't know. We don't know. We have to see how Jazz performs. We have to see how these prospects perform. So there's no grading this really yet. So everybody that wants to say, oh, the Marlins, got fleeced, or the Yankees got fleeced, well, we don't know. What did hurt is the Yankees giving up. Well, before I say, gave up minor league catching prospect Agustin Ramirez. He's their 20th ranked prospect. They gave up infielder Jared Cerna. He's the number 19 prospect, and they gave up infielder Abraham Ramirez, who is unranked because there's no number next to his name, so it means he's not in the top 30. But I just want to talk about the guy that we did lose. That this sucks. I check this guy's stats pretty regularly because I follow people on Yankee Twitter that are very well versed in reporting on the minor leaguers, the minor league players, right? And this guy, Agustin Ramirez, he's 22 years old, big 6 foot, 210. And this year he's hitting 269 at, I believe he was in Double-A, but I think the Yankees signed him to Triple-A. I'm trying to see. Oh, yeah, he was signed to Triple-A on June 19th. But I remember this guy at the beginning of the year. I remember seeing videos of him. He was raking at Double-A. He's got 20 home runs right now this year, 69 RBIs, hitting 269. Like, what the freak? He's got 20 home runs already in the minors, and we still have a few months to go. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy at this point in the season. He's got 20 home runs. So that sucks. This guy can hit, uh, lots of power, and I'm not really sure though how he is. I heard he's okay defensively. I heard he's all right defensively. I don't know. Um, defensively, he's rated defensively subpar body movement and receiving. Was one of many bat first catchers in Yankee system. Okay, yeah. So his value is coming primarily from his bat. Uh, and the Marlins, it says in this tweet, obviously they need catching, but he may not answer that question long term. Okay, well, he's 22 years old, so he can definitely be a part of their future. It's not like he's like 18 or 19, and it's like, oh yeah, this guy still has a while to go. No, he's 22, so like he could. I don't know if he continues to show out at AAA. I mean, he could really, he could get called up probably next year, maybe. I don't know. Unless his defense really is that bad and he needs more work behind the plate. Okay, that's probably why they're saying that then. But yeah, that one really stung. Okay, that because I follow that guy in the minors, and yeah, that one stunk. But to go over the rest of this trade, really, uh, I'm pulling up the other two guys. I'm really honestly not that familiar with, which is a good thing. It means like they're really not like anything too crazy, too crazy. And I'm pulling up this other guy, Jared Cerna, who's in the deal. I think it said he's our 18th best prospect, and he was in high A this year, Hudson Valley, 253 batting average, 13 home runs. That's not bad. But he's high A and he's 22. You're 22 years old in high A. That's pretty old. So, and then this other guy, I'm trying to find this other guy. They gave him 3 prospects. This other guy by the name of, I don't know, he's unranked. So, lost my tab here. Oh well. Yeah, the other guy I really don't care because nobody's talking about him and he's not ranked prospect. So I don't know. Maybe he could pan out, maybe not. But I'm just trying to find his name. I have all my notes and I can't find his name. Abraham Ramirez. That's what I wrote. Okay. So Abraham Ramirez, he is hitting 348 in the minors this year. Wow, it's pretty good. 2 home runs, 24 RBIs, 158 at bats. Okay, but he's 19. He's Florida Coast League. That's rookie ball. That's the lowest level. So yeah, he's got a bit more to go, but I mean, good for him. He's in 348. Okay. Yeah. So look, obviously you're gonna have to give up some value to get a guy like Josh Chisholm. You're not gonna be able to give him, just he's pretty good. He's not like amazing good, but he's decent. Like you look at his stats, like his stats don't jump out at you. I mean, he's hitting like 253, but he, can steal bases. He can hit for some pop. He's got 13 home runs, and in a pitcher's ballpark like Miami, that's kind of impressive. And he's got good sprint speed. He can steal bases. Defensively, he's outs above average. He's above average. He can he can use his speed to his advantage. And I'm actually trying to pull up the talking about like the plan. Like he can kind of play a little bit all over. Like either like they said, third base, second base. Marlins were putting him in center field, kind of trying to utilize his speed. Uh, but uh, hold on a second. Computers, like I have so many tabs open. Okay, uh, so yeah, I mean, he's yeah. It says here on MLB.com he's above average, and so yeah, I mean that's it's really hard to figure out yet where exactly he's going to prominently play because you have Glaber at second, and I guess the Yankees aren't trading Glaber. So yeah, I mean that's there you have it. Uh, and then it says here though, this one side I found, he rates well out above average. Like I said, since 2023, it's 5 outs above average. But defensive run saves is not good at -11. Trying to find, I'm trying to just like verify that because I found that, but but yeah, he's like he's yeah he can play center field. He can play center field. Fangraphs has all the explanation here. This is a 2023 article. 2023, he was ranked third out of outfielders, center fielders, and defensive runs and outs above average. Sorry, defensive run saves. He was doing okay too. So yeah, I mean he can play. You know, hey, I mean you got to find a spot for him, obviously, and I don't know. I feel like it's tough with center field, right? Because you have Trent Grisham. So like I don't know how are the inner workings of all that going to work because Trent Grisham is hitting too of late as well. He's been another guy that's been heating up, and he was huge for us the other night. With that huge hit to tie the game and extras keep the game alive, and the Yankees ultimately won that game. So yeah, I don't know. And Trent Grisham too. Like he's super valuable defensively out in the outfield, won a Gold Glove. So I really, it's look, people at the end of the day, it's confusing, but it's a tough problem to have. Okay, this is where you really got to think and kind of mix and match a little bit and try and figure it out. But it's a good problem to have whenever you can't figure out who's going to play where because there's a lot of guys of late playing well. That's a good thing, and I do have some hope that maybe they will get this right, that they will get it right. As much as I can't stand Aaron Boone and just and some of the decisions and then scratch my head some of the things they do, I I do believe hopefully they can get this right. I mean, because it's a good problem to have, and hopefully they figure it out. And also, too, on a positive note as well, JD Davis, our cleanup hitter, for that brief period that felt like forever. He got the DFA'd today too. Corresponding move to add Jazz Chisholm to the roster. Woohoo! I'm glad that guy's gone. Absolute ass. He sucks. He should never. I mean, honestly, he should not be in the major leagues. If a team wants to sign him to a minor league deal, send him to the minors. Cool. But that guy's not a major league player anymore. Sorry. I don't care what he Giants like a year and a half ago. I don't care. He's not good. He hasn't been good this year. The A's cut him. That's a sign that you shouldn't have got him. And look, all by my tongue a little bit. I said, look, oh yeah, this guy can hit lefties a little bit. I thought he was going to be a bench warmer. I didn't think he was going to be getting regular at bats. Okay, that's just crazy. But anyway, life moves on, and Yankees lineup gets better. And now we got Philly starting tomorrow. That's going to be nuts. Phillies are 25 games over 500. They are a juggernaut of a team. It could be really scary or it could be very fun. I don't know. Oh, also too, Giancarlo comes back tomorrow. So things are looking up. Okay. I know I don't want to get ahead of myself after one series because there's been a ton of bad shit this last month and a half, 2 months with this team. But things are, I feel like, starting to look up. Now we go to Philly. Now you thought you had it hard playing. Well, now you got to go to Philly and you got to play literally one of the top teams in baseball, if not the best team in baseball. That's going to be tough. That is going to be tough. And the reason I only say it is because you can go off record of who's the best team in baseball, but a lot of people like to have their own interpretations of who they think the best team is, blah blah blah. Like because you have a lot of teams similar in record and whatnot. Cleveland's very good. Cleveland's up there. Dodgers, Phillies, Orioles, even though they've been bad lately. But anyway, I mean, you look at, and then now the Yankees, they are just one game back of the AL East. Baltimore won today. They beat the Padres to avoid a sweep. And the Yankees, they win a game they need to win. So, and just for kicks, because it's the Phillies that have the best record, like I stated. So, best team in baseball record wise. I mean, the rankings you can mix match Cleveland, Philly. If you want to go off record, sure, but I'm not going to tell you to do that because people have their own interpretations of what they want to go off of, and record is one of them, but it's not the whole thing. Anyway, awesome freaking win, you guys. I'm pumped. I'm pumped for Philly. And oh yeah, by the way, guys, I am going to Wednesday's game in Philly. I'm going to have a ton of cool content coming out. Specifically, too, I'm not. So here's the thing. I could do the in-game highlights, but I think it would be way cooler if I just post the in-game highlights with me recording constantly at the game. That's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to record every freaking at bat, every pitch, and I'm going to post those highlights if they do happen. I hope they do. If they do happen, I'm going to post those highlights on the Yankees on Deck Instagram channel. So go follow that. And you're going to see a lot of cool shit posted. Either way, you're going to see some fun stuff posted too. I'm going to make posts, showing the ballpark and what there is to eat, and maybe I can, do some interviews with Yankee fans, Phillies fans. I don't know, but I'm going to go there. I'm going to be with my buddies. We're going to hang out, have some fun. And yeah, so, and I'm going to give you guys a lot of good content on that end. And then that's an afternoon game. That's at like 12:30. I'll get home probably like that evening. So I got to drive home from Philly to Connecticut. I'm going to hit traffic. So, I'll have the post game recap episode sometime later that evening, of course. And obviously, this is going out to you guys at nearly midnight. So hopefully, maybe you guys wake up tomorrow, you see this, you can listen to some of it on the way to work. I don't know. But anyway, if you've tuned in at all, or if you've watched my stuff, or Yankees on Deck, or here on this podcast, thank you very much. I appreciate it, and I appreciate all of you for tuning in. And I hope all of you have a great rest of your evening on this Sunday. And let's go Yankees, and let's keep it going, baby. Have a good night, everybody.